hold an objection that was brought to the IEC. For more reaction on the story, MK Party spokesperson Nhlamulo Ndhlela joins us now in the studio. Good to have you, and thank you very much for coming in.
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers.
Well, the fact that we know for sure at this particular point is that you won the appeal.
Indeed.
That we know definitely. The reasons are still to follow, but we know that you won the appeal. Your own assessment as to why you won the appeal?
Well, let me just start by saying we had a conversation a couple of days ago, and I did say that we will win this. We were confident that, the IEC, like we said, don't have an authority, nor do they have the mandate. And neither were they, in this case, acting within jurisdiction by invoking Section 47(1)(e). Section 47(1)(e) is legislation that gives the powers to the National Assembly as it pertains to membership. So that's the first one. The other one is as it pertains to the issue of remission, which has obviously seen the President Zuma's sentence at the time being, in this case, extinguished by 12 months. Then effectively meaning that his sentence is effectively the term that he served, which is 3 months. So, so as it pertains to the issue of the 12 months without an option of paying a fine, President Zuma is clear of that, and that's now been confirmed. But what is important, again, to highlight, this is something that is important to highlight. Janet Love, we raised the issue of bias. She made pronouncements on the 24th of January when asked a question about President Zuma, and in her response, she responded saying that he's not eligible for his candidature on the parliamentary list. Come last week, when they sat and she presided over the same commission, as a commissioner, upheld the same objection after having made a pronouncement. So how is it that she's not conflicted? It raises issues of bias, and we've raised that a number of times. And the judgment in this case, in the order, further just confirms our position. Yeah. So we're very concerned about that.
We've just got a statement now from the IEC. They are looking at the order, but they are still awaiting the reasons for the judgment and then seeking legal advice on that. The question is, tomorrow is the cut-off date for the confirmation of the list, and I think the 12th of April is the day when they will be issuing the certificates of all the candidates who will be participating. Have you had any communication from them since the order was issued?
No, we haven't had haven't heard or received any communication from the IEC at this stage.
How confident are you that you will be on that list, or at least the candidate that we're talking about, former President Jacob Zuma, will be on that list, the final list, and the certificate will be issued?
We're confident that that will be the outcome.
You don't see them appealing this judgment?
Look, we don't see them appealing it. But again, if the IEC were to appeal it, one, it would just show desperation on their end. I think it would be a total wrong move on their end. I think what they should be dealing with is dealing with Janet Love stepping down and resigning, because by virtue of her pronouncements, it has jeopardized the independence. It has jeopardized. Look, in this case, the court has upheld our submissions around bias, and by virtue of that, it means yes, she was biased. So IEC, the best thing they need to do right now is to ask Janet Love to step down. Yeah. And that's just the situation.
It's difficult for me to argue that because I don't know the reason. I don't know the facts behind why would they have upheld that. So I would still need to hear what the court says the reasons are and to what degree that is. It's a very difficult conclusion to draw at this particular point, and I'm sure a difficult conclusion to draw for the IEC. Yeah. But for yourself, it seems to be a plain black and white type of decision.
It's as clear as day. So, look, the IEC ought to be beyond reproach. Such conduct doesn't garner any confidence. When they ought to be independent. Yeah. But here's another thing that's also interesting. President Zuma, if you look at all the consolidated list of all the parties' candidates, if you consolidated all of them, it's 15,000, give or take, candidates. President Zuma is the only one who gets an objection. Yeah. Okay? But again, maybe it's because it's President Zuma.
But there are other parties that got an objection as well.
No, we haven't heard anything. We haven't heard. Have you heard of the other objections?
There are other parties that would have been disqualified for some or other
candidates
reasons
that have received objections. Are you aware of?
Not top of my mind. No.
There you go.
Yeah. So you say he's the only one?
He's the only one.
Okay.
That's 15,000
candidates. I'll have to verify.
Well, it's a fact.
Yeah. That's you say that I'll have to verify. But let's turn to this now. Are you concerned now that, yes, because part of your submissions was that the IEC does not have jurisdiction, however, National Assembly does have jurisdiction over Section 47. Are you concerned that that participation could be stifled by the National Assembly that will be formed, or whatever parliament that would be formed?
No, I wouldn't. I'm not concerned. We're not concerned. We're confident that President Zuma will be a member of Parliament if he chooses to. Remember, there's also a risk.
Does he want to be? That was my next question. Does he want to be a member of Parliament?
President Zuma has been a president of this country before. He's not power hungry. President Zuma is a selfless leader who has taken and he's heeding to the call to lead. And that's what people want. People want him to lead, because they've realized that this ANC of Ramaphosa and this government is not taking care of them as it ought to be.
Yeah.
And when people want President Zuma in Parliament, so shall it be. And President Zuma has risked, by the way, coming out of retirement, risked his benefits, risked his membership of the ANC.
Yeah.
So that just tells you about the man himself. He is for the people.
Is that dependent upon getting the overwhelming majority?
No, it's not necessarily dependent upon getting an overwhelming majority. We know we'll get a two-thirds majority. We know we'll get a significant chunk. I mean, people are purporting all sorts of polls. From where we're sitting, we're very confident. And I'm sure, Thabo, until now you can tell that everything we've said, we've executed quite well, and we're confident about what we say. We're confident about our plan, and we'll execute it to the T.
Everybody I've spoken to is very confident about the outcome and getting it.
But we show you results. Here we go.
Even the ANC is confident, even the EFF is confident, even the IFP is confident. Everybody is confident about getting a two-thirds majority at this particular point. But my question is, if you get the overwhelming majority, two-thirds majority, the president says, I'm ready to lead. If you don't get the two-thirds majority, is the president willing to be a member of parliament?
Well, that's a decision President Zuma will make at the time. I cannot make a decision on his behalf. President Zuma will make that call. And it'll be let known to the public as to what the decision is at that point in time.
But do you see that putting you in a situation where you need to contest to be in a coalition, and who that coalition partner would be?
Well, we went into this, going into these elections with the aim of winning. And we want a two-thirds majority. We've stated continuously one command, and our command and one mission. And our mission in this case is a two-thirds majority. So with that in mind, we are focusing on two-thirds majority. At the time, if it happens that we find ourselves in a situation where we have to have negotiations around coalitions, we'll engage with like-minded parties who are progressive parties to form a united front, and then we'll make a decision at that point in time. But again, that'd be speaking hypothetically.
Nhlamulo, appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
NK Party spokesperson there, Nhlamulo Ndhlela, joining us in the studio.